She gave away everything she owned, her money, her homes, her life savings, because she thought she was going to die. But she didn't. And by the time she realized the truth, it was already too late. I once took a job in a low-income housing apartment. The client was an elderly woman in a wheelchair. While I worked, we talked. Just small talk at first. But then she started telling me her story, and I wish she hadn't. Well, years ago, she had been seriously ill. Doctors were certain she wouldn't survive. So, preparing for death, she divided everything she owned among her children, over 10 of them. But somehow she recovered. The only thing she lost was the ability to walk. I remember thinking, over 10 kids? She told me she couldn't have children of her own, but she loved kids. So she adopted 7 at first, then more over time. But one of them was different. That child was biologically her husband's, with her best friend, Mary. At the time, she had no idea Mary got pregnant and begged her to adopt the baby in secret. And because she loved children, she agreed. She raised that girl as her own, loved her, protected her, until one day, at a birthday party, the girl leaned in and said, "Aunt Mary told me my real father is Mark, your husband." Everything shattered. She confronted her husband, cut Mary out of her life completely, and at the time, she was the one with the money. He depended on her, so he apologized over and over, and eventually she started to forgive him, but then she started getting sick again. Weak, exhausted, doctors couldn't find anything wrong. They said maybe it was stress, just fatigue. One day her husband handed her pills. She's about to take them. The phone rang. He stepped out. Her hand trembled, and the pills fell to the floor. He came back, looked at her, and assumed she took them. He said nothing. It was Mary. "Did you give her the medicine?" Silence. Then Mary asked, "Why isn't she dead yet?" He snapped, told her to shut up. Hang up. Then, when she knew, she didn't confront him. Not yet. She started planning. She arranged for him to leave on a trip, called her sister, froze his bank accounts, contacted her lawyer, had every pill in the house tested, but nothing could be proven. Doctors told her she had less than 2 months to live, so she did it again. She gave everything away, every house, every dollar, split between her children. Even his child got a share. She kept nothing, and then she waited to die. Whatever he had been giving her, her body fought it off. She survived. She walked away from everything, moved into a small, low-income apartment, cut off all her children, and disappeared. Her husband? He'd never think to look for her there, because Why would a once wealthy woman choose to live like that? Some people survive betrayal, others plan for it, and a few make sure they're never found again. The stream with no viewers. I moderate live streams from time to time. Usually it's nothing too crazy. Just people breaking rules, trolls, stuff like that. But there was one stream that made me quit. It had no viewers, but somehow it had an active chat. I worked as a moderator for a well-known streaming platform. Most of the time, my job was simple: remove harmful content, keep things under control. You get used to seeing messed up stuff, people flashing the camera, saying horrible things, even worse. So when I took the job, I didn't think much of it. The listing said, pre-broadcast moderation for internal live stream content. No audience interaction required. That last part mattered. No viewers meant no trolls, no chaos, just me and the stream. It was part of a delayed broadcast system. My job was to watch the live feed and remove anything that broke the rules before it ever reached an audience, basically cleaning it in real time so it would be safe later. The rules were oddly specific. Do not pause, rewind, or refresh the stream. Do not take screenshots or record the screen. Do not open the chat history tab. Remove any messages that references future events. That last one stuck with me. I asked about it. They said sometimes test data gets injected into the chat, and to remove anything predictive, I figured, spoilers, maybe the stream was scripted or something. Don't think twice about it. The stream started. It was boring. Just a fixed camera, a living room, a couch, a coffee table, a door in the back, one lamp on, no movement, no sound, except a faint hum, and the chat empty. I sat there for about 20 minutes. Then a message appeared. Door open soon. No username, just gray text. I hovered over it. It didn't look normal. I assumed it was the test data they mentioned, so I deleted it. 10 seconds later, the door in the stream opened, then slowly closed again. That's when I started feeling uneasy. Messages kept appearing. I'd delete them, and then something would happen in the room. Lamp turns off. The lamp went out. Something moves behind the couch. There was a shuffle behind the couch. Every time, after a short delay. At around the 1 hour mark, I stopped deleting immediately. I started timing them. Every message happened. About 20 seconds later, that's when it hit me. The chat wasn't reacting to the stream. It was ahead of it. But this was a pre-broadcast, no audience, so where were the messages coming from? I told myself there had been an exploitation. There has to be. Preloaded data, simulation, a prank, Still, I got curious. So I broke one of the rules. I opened the chat just for a second. It was full. Hundreds of messages, all describing events. Most of them about the room, which made no sense because nothing was happening. Then I saw one that froze me. Moderator closes chat history. I hadn't done that yet. Should I? Another message appeared. Moderator feels happy they closed chat history. I slammed it shut. My hands were shaking, but I went back to watching, trying to convince myself it was just technical. Then another message appeared. Moderator checks behind him. I stared at it, didn't move, didn't delete it. 10 seconds passed. 20, 30. Then another message appeared. Too late. I turned around so fast I nearly hurt myself. Nothing. Of course, nothing was there. That's the worst part, right? When nothing's there. I laughed, closed the chat, went back to the stream. The door was now open, and behind it there was a hallway. There hadn't been a hallway before. And 2 more messages appeared. It looks at the moderator too. It leaves the room. Slowly, something passes the doorway, and then nothing. No more messages. The stream stayed still. Exactly 4 hours later, I was logged out automatically. I turned on all the lights in my house, walked around, tried to shake off the stream. The next night, I checked the notepad where I wrote the delays on the times. There was a line at the bottom, one that I did not write. Moderator rereads notes. And under it, turns around again. I turned around. My window was wide open. Yeah, I do not moderate anymore.